Okay, moving on to example number 3. We are going to solve the equation, same kind of thing. We're going to plug it in. So notice here we have an equation here, x cubed minus 6x squared plus 4x equals -6. When I come over here to Desmos, here's my equation. I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. You'll notice that it does kind of run through here. So I am going to kind of go back home so that way I can kind of see the values here. And then in this case now I'm going to move the 6 over to the other side, so I have to add it. It should be a plus 6. Notice down here it hits this one, which is negative 0.69, 1.75, and 4.95. So negative 1.75 and 4.95. So notice that we have two positive numbers. You can see that pretty clearly on this particular graph. So this would be A. So this would be A, which is this one right here. Okay. Number 4. So this is the first check, the start of the checks for this semester. We're going to do them now. This is the second check in the one that you have to do. So this is solving polynomial equations by looking at a word problem. So Molly's school is planning a school-based community garden. So here's the community garden with the diagrams shown. If the school has 64 yards of fencing, so we have enough fencing, hopefully, to get all the way around that entire project there. So all the way around the perimeter. So that's what it is a perimeter. Use a system of equations and graphing calculators. So I don't know why they keep going with a system of equations. It's really not the best way to do it, but that's okay. We weren't going to worry about that too much. To find the value of x. So notice that we are having a perimeter. So remember, a perimeter, we add up all these sides. So we have perimeter equals, we have x squared minus 5 plus 4x minus 8. We have another x squared minus 5 up there. And we have another 4x minus 8 there. So we have plus 4x minus 8. Of course, there's a way that I could just multiply each of these by 2, get the same answer, but I just want you to see that the perimeter is just walking all the way around and looking at that total distance. And that has to equal 64. So that would equal 64 because that's what my perimeter is 64. And so now let's go ahead and add up everything that we can, combine like terms. I have an x squared and an x squared, so that gives me 2x squared. I'm going to go ahead and cross those off. I have 4x plus 4x, which is 8x. And then I have minus 5 minus 8. Minus 5 is negative 18. Minus 8 is negative 26. And that equals 64. So that's what we have in terms of the problem. And so going through and now putting everything to one side. So notice, especially with graphing, I don't have to really combine like terms, but I'm going to subtract the 64 from both sides. So notice here, here's my f of x. I already went ahead and did that here, negative 64. This time I wrote it a little differently. I wrote it as a function. And so there's my function. And you'll notice in this case, and notice I did not combine all the like terms. I didn't do exactly what they were asking me to do, which is a system of equations. That's a little harder, I think, to do. But in this case, I think that you can see it's 2 times the length plus 2 times the width equals 64. So that's my perimeter there. You can see my points right here. So I have one point at negative 9, and I have another point at positive 5. Now, if we were to plug these into the equation, negative 9 and positive 5, if I plug a negative 9 here, I'm going to get a positive number. But if I plug a negative 9 in here, I'm going to get a negative number. That doesn't make any sense. I can't have a length of a side that's negative. So the negative 9 isn't going to work. Only the 5 is going to work. And then we're going to plug it into this equation. So 5 times x squared is 25. 25 minus 5 is 20. If I plug a 5 in here, it's 20 minus 8, which is 12. And there are my 2 answers. And that's it. So you have a check that you need to do, which is 5.1.1. Do all the problems, 2 points. I did one of them for you. And then in Reveal Math, you only have 14 problems. I did 3 of them, so you really only have 11 problems. And that's it for 5.1.